Hi guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with our Vayne commentary guide. So Vayne, of course, is technically she's one of the weakest ADCs in the game, but today we're gonna cover her because there are situations where she is strong. But before that, first up, I need to clear something up and also apologize because in my last video, the Garen commentary guide, I did say it was the last few days of the season, but it actually isn't, because the season is actually ending on the 24th of July. If you guys see, putting it up on screen now, it is actually ending on 24th of July, so that was a mistake by me. But because the website originally said June, it said just June, it didn't give a specific date, but now that I've double checked, it has. So yep, that happened, but basically clearing that up. So here, back to the gameplay. Here, basically what's happening here is that Sana is walking in a really dangerous position, and the entire goal of that play was to actually get her flash, but instead she refuses to use flash or heal, and instead we just pick up the kill on her, which is very strange because she doesn't choose to use any of her summoner spells despite being able to live if she just used one of them. So, back to the main point on Vayne. So Vayne is really good against matchups with a lot of tanks. In this case, in this matchup, there's only Mundo, but she is really good against Mundo. And also, she's very good against lanes that aren't kill lanes. So she sucks against people like Draven or like Leona. So tank engagers is a no-go, especially if you want to play Vayne. At least for me. Of course, if you're like a Vayne one trick, you can pick Vayne into any matchup, but I would never pick Vayne into tank engage supports like Leona, like Alistar, because she has really short range, so when she wants to walk up to CS, really easy for the tank engage supports to just catch her out and engage on her. And also, ideally, you want to play Vayne against a late game scaling AD carry like a Kai'Sa or a Xayah. You don't want to play against someone like a Draven or a Misfortune, because you're going to get bullied and you are going to suffer a lot in the early game, because Vayne's early game is horrible. She only really picks up in the mid to late game. So here, pretty much Sona makes the exact same mistake that she did. This time we have more spells, we condemn her against the wall, and Janna picks up the kill. So Sona makes the same mistake twice. Not sure what she's doing there. The Sona, not the best, but we do actually profit of that and get 1 kill and 1 assist of the Sona's mistakes. Mundo actually came up for a gank there, but as you guys can see, Mundo, especially after getting nerfed, he's not the best jungler. His gank potential is not really good. He doesn't have any like hard CC, so we're just gonna be chilling in the lane. Something interesting to note here is that even though we've got 1 kill and 1 assist, we have not backed yet, so we only have 1 longsword. So Sona has a tier which is not the best either, but me and Xayah both haven't backed. The reason why I haven't backed is the problem I find with Vayne is she has pretty bad wave clear, because she is single target after all. She has no AoE on the minion, so it's really slow to clear lane, especially compared to a Xayah which has very strong wave clear. Here we actually try to catch up the Sona again for the exact same thing that we did the last 2 times, but this time I don't actually hit the condemn on the wall. So here, the entire laning phase, I'm careful not to stand between Xayah and her feathers so as to not get rooted, but I did make that mistake there. Thankfully, the Xayah doesn't actually press E, so I don't actually get punished for that. Here, Mundo is back for a gank again, and we actually deal quite a decent amount of damage to him, as you guys can see. But we're not really going to go on the chase because, as I said, we have yet to back, and 3v1, and when 2 of us are at low health, not exactly the best. So here I'm going to back, and actually I can straight up just get a Blade of the Rune King straight up from my longsword just from that kill and assist. So Vayne is really weak, has really weak wave clear, especially against Xayah, but thankfully because we have actually gotten 2 kills on the Sona as a dual lane, so actually it did kind of circumvent that a little bit because the enemy bot lane is a bit weaker. So here Lee Sin comes in for a gank. I ultimate and flash to get in range, and managed to pick up the kill on the Sona, condemn the Xayah into the wall, and then I'm gonna pick up the kill on her as well. Shout out to the Lee Sin for giving me the kill, because when I didn't actually manage to finish off the Xayah, I was like 100% sure that Lee Sin was gonna get the kill, but instead he knew that I needed the kill way more than him, so he actually just gave me the kill, just straight up. Here Zed just walks up, I condemn him against the wall, it's a 3v1. I of course can't tumble across terrain, so I'm gonna let the Lee Sin finish up the kill. So yep, this Lee Sin is playing really well. The Lee Sin is a diamond player, by the way. So Yep, this is a pretty high elo game. So what's happening here is we actually just want to get the dragon here, but you know, enemy team of course wants that too, so they're all in the area. Lee Sin picks up the skull crab, and we are 4 people on dragon. The enemy team does have a ward over here, but we're just gonna fight over the dragon. I'm just focusing the dragon for now. Enemy team getting into position. I'm gonna focus the Mundo because he is the jungler, so I'm gonna try to get rid of the Mundo. And but his regen is pretty high, so I don't actually manage to get the Mundo, but I do actually manage to get the KS onto the Fizz. So here we finally managed to pick up the Mundo, and Zed is on the chase. I'm really low HP, but I get saved by the Janna shield. And then I kind of go back in, but there's a full HP Xayah around, so I'm just going to take the Blast Cone over the wall to escape. Now, I see a lot of players actually can't hit the Blast Cone when they are in this kind of situation where you have to hit the Blast Cone to live. And if you guys didn't know, there's actually a plant button right below your auto attack button. So you can actually just use the plant button to hit the Blast Cone, which is exactly what I did there, so that I don't accidentally target the Xayah and just die instead. So yeah, that went really well. But a problem I found with Vayne throughout this match is that she sometimes just runs out of mana. So especially because you are tumbling more or less non-stop, so you are actually very mana hungry. So that is sort of an issue, but of course you can't really build mana items on Vayne. Here I'm strong enough to just straight up run down the Sona under the tower. But you can actually build mana items, so it is something to take note that without any mana, you are a lot more vulnerable. As you guys can see in the past dragon fight, I actually didn't have mana at all, and actually what I did there was every time I just had enough mana for one tumble, I tumble, I have no mana for anything, I got mana for one tumble, I tumble, and then I have no mana for anything again. So that of course not the best situation to be in, and here I'm already at about half mana, but you know, I managed to get the blue buff to restore my mana rapidly, which is of course really good. So here I'm 704. Now a fat Vayne is probably one of the most scary AD carries you can see. The only reason why Vayne is bad and considered a low tier ADC is because she has incredibly weak early games and very hard to get to the later stages of the game compared to other AD carries. But if you play into the right team like I did here, Sona can't really do much to me, and Xayah can't really do much to me as long as I don't let her root me. So playing it into the right bot lane enemy matchup, you can really get the most use out of Vayne. And as you can see, when Vayne is fed, she's really scary. I can just run down anybody because my passive gives me an increased movement speed towards 30 increased movement speed towards enemy champions, and if I ult, it gives me 90 increased movement speed. So I can pretty much run anybody down, and especially if you're fed, the enemy team is gonna have a lot of trouble trying to escape from you. So that is a real good strength of Vayne. Here, as you guys can see my build, I've picked up Blade of the Rune King first, and then I'm going to Static Shiv. Of course, I pick up my normal Gluttonous Greaves, and now I've got the Zhonya's just so that I can't get bursted by Zed or Fizz. They do have 2 assassins on the enemy team, so Zhonya's is a pretty good pickup. Here, Sona actually did manage to get the steal on the Herald with her Crescendo, so I am going to have to go top to defend against it. But actually instead what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to run down the Sona and the Mundo. So here we can see I pick up the quick kill on the Sona. Mundo is a little bit more of an issue because he regenerates really fast. As you can see, he's regenerating just about as much damage as ideal. So Janna is going to have to help me out a little bit by throwing a W. Then we're just going to get rid of the Herald. So a pretty standard Vayne build is Blade of the Rune King into Static Shiv, and then a Infinity Edge to just increase your crit damage, and then more crit items like a Phantom Dancer, and finally like a Guardian Angel. So I don't actually build more Reminder on Vayne because she already has a percentage health damage on her Silver Bolt, which is her W, so I don't really think she needs it. And it's also very hard for her to apply the Grievous Wounds because she is single target. Although Static Shiv does help with that a little bit, which is why Static Shiv is kind of her core item. So this is the general build that I go for Vayne. And on Vayne, I always take Fleet Footwork. Some people do take Conqueror on Vayne, but I feel that Fleet is better just because of the fact that you're tumbling non-stop. So you can actually proc Fleet a lot more often than a lot of other AD carries. Here I get an amazing angle of the Condemn onto the Xayah, but what instead happens is Sona and Zed collapse on me and I die. Now I will actually admit that I did have my Zhonya's up over there, which actually I haven't used it the entire time since I bought it, so obviously I had my Zhonya's up the entire time over there. And I had my Flash as well, and I had my Bearer as well, but I used none of it because I was a little bit overconfident, being as fat as I was, that you know I would just destroy the Xayah fast enough, but that was not the case, and instead I get bursted. But instead here my team is gonna actually clean up the what has become a full-on fight. So Darius getting his dunks, a double kill for Darius, a triple kill for Darius. You know, Darius when enemy team doesn't know what they're doing, lets him get up to full stacks. You know, he just goes on a rampage. Darius is chasing the Zed away. Zed is the last remaining member who's alive on the enemy team. So here I'm just gonna pretty much solo the dragon while waiting for my team to come around. Of course, warding over the wall just in case, you know, there's any sneaky steals. Zed himself can technically steal the dragon from me because he has more burst than me. I'm like DPS. So here comes the Zed. Gets off his full combo on me, so I do Zhonya's to prevent myself from dying there again, and we're just gonna chase down the Zed, who actually ports back to his living shadow, so we don't actually pick him up. So nice play by Zed there, I would say. So here, you know, we have picked up the first two dragons, so our team is in a pretty good spot. Now I would like to point out that my team is actually only 2k gold ahead of the enemy team, and the lead, of course, is like technically it's completely on me. I'm like 3k or almost 4k gold up on the Xayah, but my other lanes are doing like alright. Annie's not doing too hot, but Darius is doing pretty alright. So this game is not actually a straight up stomp. We are only having like about a 2k gold lead on the enemy team. It's not like a 10k gold lead, at least not yet. I'm not sure if it will develop to that later on. But here, you know, I'm just trying to shove in here. I'm gonna back off because pretty much the entire enemy team shows up. Literally all 5 of them show up. I get hit by the crescendo. Janna is the main target for the enemy team, so I do escape. I take the fruit, I ult and come back into the fight because my entire team has come back. Here I managed to get a nice condemn onto the Fizz into the wall. We pick up the Fizz, and I'm going to go on the chase for the Xayah. I pick up the Xayah with the help of my silver bolts especially, and with the help of my silver bolts we will also be able to pick up the Mundo for another clean ace. So now we are, of course, 3k go up on the enemy team after that team fight, and I'm also going to be able to pick up the tower of that ace. So here, you know, our team slowly building up. Our lead is now like 5k after the tower take and the team fight. So here I'm just gonna back, complete my Infinity Edge. If you realize, I back quite a few times throughout the game, and when I back, I only get an entire item just because of the fact that I'm pretty much wrecking the enemy team. If you guys realize, I'm 11-1-10 at the moment, so I have like 21 kill participation out of 28 as a Vayne, which I would say is pretty remarkable. So here I'm actually gonna clean up the giant wave that has built up at top before rotating. I could actually push out one more wave, but I feel like a fight is gonna break out like literally anytime soon. Darius is gonna like chase for the Sona, and there are like a couple of people in mid lane, and I want to be there basically. I don't really feel, it's not that I don't feel confident of my team, but it's more like I want to be there for my team because I am the main damage, and I have gotten to my like power spikes. I've like 3 completed items at the moment compared to Xayah's like 2, and like no one else on the enemy team has 3 completed items. Here, actually, the right play probably is to go for the Xayah, but instead I go for the Fizz, and I even flash for him, but actually Lee Sin is there, so I pretty much wasted my flash, and I probably should have gone for the Xayah, who is a higher priority target, but me and Janna actually run straight into the Xayah, and if you guys see here, I'm gonna completely destroy her. Look at how much damage I'm doing. I pretty much kill her with like 3 or 4 auto attacks, so we just destroy her. So, you know, my mistake was corrected by the fact that Xayah made a mistake, which is to not just run away all straight up. So here, we pick up the mid lane tier 2, and we're also gonna clear the minion wave. Sona and Mundo are the only ones alive. Mundo is top, so Sona can't really defend. So we easily push in yet another wave. Here, me and Janna want to collapse on the Mundo, because me with my silver bolts damage, Vayne is the best AD carry to actually shred tanks. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually collapse on the Mundo, but Mundo actually manages to either back or run all the way back without us being able to catch him out. So instead what we're going to do is Dragon is spawning in about 20 seconds. So we are going to just set a trap in the tri-bush, because probably someone from the enemy team will be face checking. Sona nearly comes over, so we're just going to sit here patiently. Sona actually comes too close, tornado into the condemn, and Sona is dead. Sona actually used her locket there, but you know, wasn't really a good use of the locket because she was dead anyway. Here I'm getting a bit cocky again, trying to run right under the tower with the tower aggro and take out enemies, which is not a good idea. Now instead my team is backing me up, condemn Kai'Sa, condemn Xayah into the wall and pick up the kill on the Xayah. Here the Z does something which I think is pretty stupid. Here the Z is pretty much trying to bait us to go in on him. Probably because he's seeing how I like to attack people on the charge. He's trying to bait us to go in on him. And the entire point of the bait is to use his Zhonya's, which is a waste of the cooler. And Jenna actually picks up the kill on Z with her W. So I really have no idea what the Z was thinking there. The Z could have ran away with his life and with his Zhonya's up. Instead, he baits us just to blow his Zhonya's, and then he still dies. So the Z honestly didn't make the most intelligent of plays right there. But here, yet again, Sona is the only one who can defend. So we're just actually going to just straight up pick up the inhibitor tower, because Sona can actually defend by herself. So here, you know, Janna actually does die to the burst of the Fizz. The enemy assassins, thankfully, are actually not targeting me. So I actually managed to pick up the kill on the Fizz just because of the fact that the Fizz is normally focusing Janna or somebody else. Zed has actually focused me twice. One of those times I died, the other times I Zhonya, but the rest of the times he isn't really focusing me, which is really good. Of course, as the enemy team assassin, you always want to focus the AD carry, especially if the AD carry is fed like me at this moment. I'm 14-1-14, so really you know, really fat. It's not just fat, it's really fat. So here I'm just gonna pick up the red buff to, you know, further help me with my damage and also for the slow. So here, just warding the Baron, because we're gonna plan to do that soon. Here I can see Sona and Zed at the bot lane. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm just harassing the Mundo with my auto attacks. I'm not going like all in on him or anything, because I know that the enemy team is there and they can rotate. But my Darius and my Janna have come to back me up. Lee Sin and Anya are on the way as well. So you're actually just gonna just chase them down. Here I'm lagging, so I'm actually just walking in the wrong direction and you know, lagging a bit. But I managed to ult and to join the fight. Another nice condemn. And here we're just gonna run them down. Here I flash to get in range, and I can just pretty much auto attack Xayah down under the tower. She ults to buy a bit of time, but we do manage to pick up the kill on her. Mundo escapes with a sliver of HP, and the Fizz, you know, he can't do too much. I pick him up. With a couple of auto attacks, none of them crit, and I could have probably auto attacked him like once or twice for the kill, but I pick up a triple kill. Mundo is back with full health. I can't really dive on Mundo or anything, so instead we're gonna fall back onto the Baron with only the Mundo left alive. He is the enemy team's jungler, yes, and they can see us doing the Baron, yes, but you know, there's no way that he can actually steal the Baron. If he is really tanky, but if he straight up just walks up to the Baron, I can just condemn him away. So he has no real way of stealing the Baron. So here we just pick up the Baron. We already have our full build completed. This is the full build. Blade of the Rune King, into Static Shift, into Infinity Edge, into the Phantom Dancer, and then finishing off with the Guardian Angel, of course, for that a little bit more survivability. And then of course we did pick up the Zhonya's earlier on. You know, especially against assassins, but other than that, of course, you can also go for the Quicksilver enchant if you guys prefer that. So now we are at a very dominant position, and we're gonna look to try to push for the end, or at least pick up some inhibitor towers. So here, Zed goes in and full combos. Couldn't see, I think it's the Annie, but Annie only gets to half health, and we kill the Zed. So probably a mistake on his part. He should, like as I said, he should be focusing me. So here we are going to try to pick up the tower. I'm focusing the tower, but my team is actually just going in and kind of distracting. Here, Fizz lives with a little bit of HP, and I'm just kiting outside the tower. I'm just gonna, I burst the Xayah with like 3 basic attacks instantly, and I'm gonna go for the Sona as well, bursting the Sona as well. There goes Sona, Sona's gone, and there goes the Fizz. Fizz is gone. And we're pretty much gonna be able to end the game here. So there we go. So if you guys like what you saw, I appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe. And now I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and goodbye.